Hello again, this is Michael, and this is number 5, video number 5. And the title is Getting to Know or Get to Know the People That You Teach. Life is about relationships. Scripture talks about relationships a lot, not only our relationship with God, but our relationship with other people. And I mentioned in a previous video that it's important for us to have healthy relationships with people as much as we can, as much as possible. And the truth of that is no exception when it comes to those that we teach. Now, this takes time. You don't get to know somebody right off the bat. It does take time to interact with someone. It takes time to interact with individuals, to watch them and to listen, to ask questions, to find out somebody's weaknesses and their strengths, their likes and their dislikes, their family background, what they do for a living, and things like this. When you meet somebody for the first time, you don't know everything about that person. What do you do? Well, hello, my name is, fill in the blank. What do you do? Well, I do this or I do that. If they're married, how long have you been married? And if you work with retirees, well, how long have you been retired? What did you used to do in your life? What would you like to do if, you had all the money in the world and all the time in the world? Maybe you could ask that to an adult or even to a child. There's all kinds of things could be discussed when it comes to getting to know someone. Let me give you a few examples specifically. If you work with kids, getting to know them is particularly important. Do the kids come from a strong Christian home? Does each student you have a Christian mother and father? Maybe they come from a non-Christian home. Are there both parents at home? Or maybe there's only one parent at home. And in some cases, maybe this child's being raised by their grandparents, because the parents are out of the picture some way, somehow. Maybe this child's family has had a divorce in it. Maybe they've got 0 siblings, maybe they got 4 siblings. What age range are they in within their family? Have they got 2 older brothers and 1 younger sister? All these factors are important, and when it comes to getting to know kids, the more you know about them, the more comfortable they're going to be with you. I remember when I was in Japan, one of the students I was teaching was the 4th grade, I believe, and his parents had been divorced. Now that's unique in that country, but I saw how it affected him. He struggled with frustration a lot, and I had to work a little bit extra with him. Even though I wasn't teaching the Bible, I was teaching English and things like that, but even still we were able to read some scripture because it was a Christian school. But he really struggled with frustration and anger at times, and had to work with him a little bit extra. But I knew about him, and he understood that I cared for him. So getting to know your kids in particular, whether you work with younger kids, maybe you work with youth. Maybe some of the kids in your class, youth in your class, love sports. Maybe they love the arts. Maybe they really enjoy building things, constructing things, whatever the case may be. What do they like? What do they dislike? Get to know those kids. Or maybe you work with married couples. Do you know their backgrounds? Do you know how long they've been married? Are they newlyweds? Or have they been married for 20 years? Maybe both work. Well, maybe one works and the other stays at home. Maybe they just had kids. Or maybe they're in the teenage years. Or maybe they're empty nesters. Maybe their kids just went off to college and they're now dealing with life again by themselves. Or maybe the married couples that you work with have been married for 40, 50, 60 years. And they have wisdom that you can glean from that too, by the way. Or maybe the families that you work with, the married couples that you work with, just went through a big problem in their marriage. Whatever the case may be. Getting to know even the adults is going to help you to become a better teacher. How is that? Because this, again, is all about relationships. And this does not have to just be in a formal setting. You can take time, say, hey, let's as a class get together and go bowling. Let's go have dinner. Let's go to maybe a park one day and have a picnic. Just to get to know each other. Have some fun together too. And don't just do everything within a classroom setting. Although it's fun to do stuff there too. Celebrate birthday parties and anniversaries and things like that. Now I know that if you work with kids, it's a little bit harder to do things like that. Now maybe a youth group if you're a part of a youth group, or maybe the kids in your class are part of a bigger youth group, maybe you can do something with them to get to know them as well as some of the other kids too. That's possible as well, because this is about relationships. And if you have a healthy relationship with those in your class, again, it helps you to become a better teacher. And here's the factor too, this is a reality. When people know you care, when people know you love them, they will listen to you, generally speaking. They'll listen to you more than they would if you didn't care. It's human nature, it's human life, it's life. So when it comes to this, get to know those that you teach. Now again, it does take time. You know, for some people, they're not as open as other people are. Don't force the issue. Maybe they've been hurt, maybe they've gone through a very difficult relationship they're trying to heal from. So as much as they are willing, get to know them, talk to them, listen to them, ask questions. And as opportunities arise outside of the classroom setting, do some activities. And by the way, if you do work with kids, one of the best ways to connect with your students is to play with them. Go outside, ball and trampoline or whatever the case is. Play with the kids. That's something, again, we did in Japan, and that helped a lot to cement our relationship with those kids, because they knew that we loved them and we cared for them, and we expressed that by being with them. And whether you work with adults or kids, be with those that you teach, because guess what? They're looking to you in some way, shape, or form, along with their pastor and other leaders, for help and for spiritual guidance in the situations they face in life. So I hope this was helpful, I hope this was encouraging, and I hope it was challenging too. So as you learn to get to know the people you teach, maybe think of some ways that you could do better. Maybe think of ways that you can explain yourself to your class. How much do they know you? How well do they know you? How well do they know about your background? That's some other things to consider. So leave your comments below, please. Ideas, questions, examples. And don't forget, the questions that I have are for you to go through and to think about and to become a better teacher and to share those things as well. So thanks again.